started out in front of my personal self home, and I approached this brick wall. And so when I approached the brick wall, I started climbing a ladder, and I took that as, taking the steps or stepping up to see something more. And so I started collecting all these little black boxes, like bins, storage bins, from one side of the brick wall and moved them to the other. And I got the impression that it was to prepare for the rain. So I kept going on about it, and I kept organizing these boxes. And all the way at the bottom at the ground, once I lifted the last black little box up, there was this little cigar box. It had cigars, matches, and a tiny silver coin. Well, I was kind of like floating, so I would position myself down on the ground so I could pick this little box up, and I opened it and I grabbed the silver coin. And I got hit with this impression again that it was about somebody's death, and it was somebody born in 1946 to some year that I didn't see, but I related it to my physical grandmother. She's still alive here, but I'm not sure what that is. But so I held the coin up to the sun and I started to cry. And eventually I would put the coin back inside the box and leave it behind. And when I did that, I positioned myself in front of my personal self home, and I began to work on a little white car, like a little 4-door car, like working on my personal self vehicle in a sense. And so after I'm working on this little car, I got the hood up and everything. This woman approaches me from the neighbor's house directly to the right of my house. She comes out and she tells me, she just makes a statement. She looks at me and she makes a statement. She says, the man that is stalking your sister isn't actually stalking your sister. And I looked at her very confused and I said, well, who is he stalking? And she kind of just gave me an obvious look like, well, it's obviously you. And then my dad would step out of my personal self home and he would ask, oh, who are you talking to? What you talking about? And so I answered him very calmly, and he stepped back into the house and closed the door. And the other lady started to walk away too. Well, I was kind of left with the decision. Do I go back to the personal self home or figure out what she was talking about? So I went after the lady and I asked her, I said, what are you talking about? Like, what is going on? And so I got the feeling like somebody was trying to get behind me. So I asked her if I could come into her house, which isn't the first time I felt like somebody was trying to get behind me. On a side note, there's an experience where someone would reappear and disappear every time I looked at them, trying to get behind me. But anyways, so she let me in her home, and we walked into her kitchen where she had an assortment of jewelry, necklaces and different things and just little trinkets. And she said she was a healer, like a magical healer, and she had these things that she would give people and all that. And I picked up this specific necklace, and it was that of like bone beads made out of like bone, and then there was like white, or not, yeah, the beads were white, and then there was like these green beads. There's 2 of them, and the main charm on this necklace was a fox's skull with the whole necklace running through its eye sockets. And I thought that was pretty, sinister like, and I kind of took that, I perceived that as, foxes are deceptive, and for the string to run through the eyes, there was something I wasn't seeing about this lady. So I put the necklace down, and she looked at me and said, do not bring any mirrors into your home, and do not write down the number 6 as it's related to all evil. And I just thought, well, I don't even know this lady. She's making all these statements and this and that. And before I could even say anything about those 2 statements, I had my mom and my sister appear. But I'm pretty sure they were real guides, because I got like the feeling of safety and sureness. Like I wasn't even questioning what she said. I just knew, like, I don't know, sure. I just was very sure and very secure feeling. And she got very quiet once she saw the both of them. And one of the guides was looking over all the stuff on the table, and the other one was sitting next to me on the left. And then I would wake up or come back to the physical. And that was it. Thank you.
That's a good experience. That's very good. That's fun. And that's rather typical when you're starting out with this, the NUUU and whatever. You're going to go through a lot of scenarios like this, and there's going to be people that are going to try and influence you. And yeah, that's who that lady was. Also, it's very interesting. She said, we'll kind of back up here a little bit about the mirror thing. Okay, see, again, I'm assuming you've seen maybe especially the old Dracula movies with Bela Lugosi and that. they don't like mirrors. All right. See, the vampires don't like mirrors. And the number 6, well, that too is very interesting. I'll just go off of Tesla, 369. Those are particular numbers. Now, we're not dealing in magic here, but they are certain references, etc. And going back where you're at the wall there, and which side of the wall, what's the idea? You climb up the ladder, then you're saying you're taking packages from one side of the wall to the other. Which side is going to which side on that wall?
The side that I was on was the side closest to my personal self home, and then I was moving the packages from that side to the side I was on.
Okay, to the other side of the wall?
Yes, the side I was on. It was weird, like my arms stretched so I could reach them, and then I would pull them onto my side, and I received the impression it was to prepare for the rain.
Okay, in other words, you walked up the ladder, you're looking over the wall, right? Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, very simple. You walked up the ladder, you look over the wall, so your arm could stretch to the other side of the wall and pick up the packages. Is that it?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. So what you're getting things is on the other side, those are ideas. And again, you got the cigar box there, so it looks like someone was smoking in the family and the gold coin. Again, it's significant of a person that has value, you might say. You held it up to the sun. And again, if grandma's passing or whatever she did, everybody's on their own journey. There's no such thing as grandmothers and mothers and all that. When I learned what I did when my so-called mother left, I let her go. They're on their own journey. You got to let them go. No emotional attachments. It's all fake. Otherwise, you stay attached to them and you hold them back too. Very, very real. And of course, they're probably going to have them, but unless you want to free yourself, etc. So you saw beyond the barriers of the personal self, and you grabbed these boxes and their ideas, and you brought them back to the personal self. Now, whatever is contained in those boxes, etc. Now, the rain signifies, again, like things from heaven, like manna from heaven. Okay, we don't use those terms, but that's kind of the idea, because what does rain do? When rain comes down, it grows things, doesn't it? It nourishes things. Then the sun comes out and helps it all. See, so you got the sun and the rain, and we need that ingredient. So you're preparing with your ideas that you're getting from there. You're preparing for what's to come, because there's always a bigger picture, you see. And that is where, as these things come about, and the boxes are, you could open them and there could be nothing in there. That is because you have to recognize these ideas that you're getting from beyond, you might say, you see, for your personal self. So yes, you're willing to take the steps up to see more. In other words, we use the phrase step up and see over the blockade, the walls, because there are walls. That's part of the personal consciousness and the overall consciousness, the social consciousness, because everything is walls, buildings, whatever. These are all barriers. You look at the birds and the indigenous people and whatever, they didn't build walls. They didn't build all this nonsense. They don't build walls. Everything is clear with the natural environment. Only people build walls and stuff like that. So there's your basic scenario. And yes, when you saw the lady, your neighbor there, she's just kind of dragging you on. In other words, when she walks up to you and says those things, she's looking for you to react and agree to certain ideas that you're not even quite sure of yourself, and to confuse you. So what she was saying was really mumbo jumbo. But you were inquisitive. See, she got you to be inquisitive. And so you went over to the house, you saw what was going on. She says she's a healer. Well, there's no such thing as healers, all right? These are people that do hocus pocus like Reiki and all that. Stay away, because it's all black magic. And actually, they steal your energy. And so you saw the necklaces. Of course, they're made out of bones. That's things that are dead, aren't they? So again, that's really a cool experience. You could share that, even share it on Facebook, etc. And use some of the definitions and go with that and have fun with that. But yes, that gives you an idea, and there's more viewpoints from that. You know best. Thank you for sharing.
Nations united, UNUversal, UNUversity, the new is dedicated to supporting and providing a real purpose and real awareness with the all-natural environment, supporting all of us. First comes this earth, with food and rainforests, and to protect what is still here. Thank you for listening to this video. If you want to know more, contact USA Dean Val and UK Kevin Smith on Facebook and YouTube, or through the website provided in the links, DuaneTheGreatWriter.net. For those who have the awareness to see what is actually taking place here with all the natural devastation, which is also purposely planned by WorldKontrollers, you now have a real opportunity to step up and do something with those who also care about your planet Earth. Duane Lee Heppner has created the new Nations United, UNUversal, UNUversity, which completely entails the all-natural environment everywhere, and a real education that has real value, and that far surpasses any commonly created indoctrinating educational system that does not focus on what sustains all of us naturally. Real survival makes sense with everything here that is self-sustaining.